So on the last day of the month, you'll want to make sure you tune into my spiced grape jelly with little mix. Bit time. Did you know what I'm going to do today? And I've got this very old, if you want a thinner cookie, this is definitely going to be a thick. There they are. What? Well, hi there, friend. So glad that you found my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angela, and I'm the Inquisitive Farm Wife. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So glad. Always love to have you here. Today's video is super special because we are part of a really neat collaboration. Do you remember back in January, when I participated and I brought you a couple of different recipes with home canning? A bunch of other people participated too. Well, guess what? Lisa, the host of that collaboration, is hosting this collaboration because many of you said, okay, you showed us how to can it. Now, what do we do with it other than just open it up and warm it up? There's so many amazing things you can do with your canned good pantry. So we're here to show all of you what you can do with all those delicious things. Each day of the week for the entire month of March, there will be a new video. I have Tuesdays, so we're going to try it Tuesday on my channel. Make sure you check out Lisa's channel and get the playlist so that you don't miss out every single day on the new videos. She is such a gracious host that once again, she's going to donate a canner for a giveaway. That's right. So on the last day of the month, you'll want to make sure you tune into her channel again and watch to see if you might win a pressure canner from 4 Jars. All you have to do is watch the video and leave a comment and you would be entered. Now make sure those comments are true and heartfelt comments. You know, technology's smart and they can tell if you're going to copy and paste or if it's just a simple, I didn't watch the video, but I'm going to make a comment kind of comment. So I encourage you to go ahead and really dive in and watch all the videos and learn lots of new things. Remember this book? Did you know that Ball often provides recipes in their canning cookbooks? There's actually other recipes too. So on page 188 of the latest book that Ball has come out with, we are going to be making peanut butter and jelly cookie bars. I thought I would bring this recipe to you first because many people start out canning jellies and jams. They're just kind of one of those things you feel a little bit more safe making. And so I thought this is something most people have. And even if you don't, the store-bought recipe stuff will work too. It suggests grape jelly, but I say use whatever kind of jelly you want. I have myself a half pint or a jelly jar size of my spiced grape jelly. I'm so excited to try this, and I hope that you are too. Let's get started, friends. First, we're going to start out with our dry ingredients. 2 1/4 cups of unbleached flour. If you prefer wheat, I really do believe that would work perfectly fine. 1, 2, and 1/4. We need 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have a small whisk. I just want to whisk this together. And the reason you want to do this is because you don't want a lump of baking soda in one spot. I mean, I know we're going to mix it together with our wet ingredients, but this really does just make sure that you don't bite into a big chunk of salt or baking soda. And it'll work through any lumps that you might have had in your flour. So we'll set that aside for just a minute, and I'm going to get my mixer out. Today I'm using my KitchenAid, and I need to start out with 1 1/2 cups of peanut butter, creamy peanut butter. But the thing is, today I went in my cabinet, and there were not 1, not 2, but 3 different creamy peanut butters. We have natural, we have no sugar added, and we have just plain peanut butter. We are going to use up this peanut butter once and for all. See, there's just a little bit in each one. And I've got this very old Pampered Chef measuring cup, and it works really, really well for this kind of stuff, because I can see whether or not I have any air bubbles or anything in there. I'm sure they still sell one similar. Maybe you can find them on Amazon. I really do like this tool for this purpose. And I don't mind using the no sugar added peanut butter to this, because we'll have so much sugar in with our jam that it's just not necessary. And looky there, I had just enough, maybe a little extra, by using up the tidbits. And now I have so much more room in my cabinet. Tidbit time. Did you know you can save the tops to these peanut butter jars for your wide and narrow mouth canning jars for dry goods? The more you know. So now I'll throw our peanut butter into our mixer bowl. Plop. I love that. See? And then look how clean that got. Perfect. Love it. We also need 1.5 cups of the light brown sugar. So when I open my bags, I like to use, let's see, this is a 1/2 cup, so we'll do it 3 times. I like to, when you want to have a recipe where it's packed, I will actually leave everything in this bag so that it makes it easier and less messy for me to pack my cup measurements. So then back into my container with the bag, and then it just makes it so much easier. We also need 3/4 of a cup of butter. So that's just 1.5 sticks. This was at room temperature, so this is something that you need to think about ahead of time, or go ahead and you can gently put it in the microwave for about 5-second increments. Now, they suggest taking a piece of foil and lining it and then spraying it. I don't have any foil in the house. I went to get it and it's gone. So I'm going to go by my old standby, where I take the leftover butter that is on my butter paper, and I use that as my nonstick coating. Now, I'm not going to be able to pull the entire thing out and slice it into the bars that way, but I'm okay with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my beater attachment on. I like this one because it scrapes the bowl. I'm going to lock this down, and we're going to just give this a good mix. Because everything is nice and soft, we can leave it on low. It's not necessary to turn it very high, maybe 2 to 3 at the max. After it looks like it's all kind of mixed in, I want to pull up anything from the bottom of the bowl. Sometimes that will stick, or up here on the sides, on the top. So we'll go ahead and mix that for another 30 seconds to a minute. Then while that's going, we're going to go ahead and add some vanilla. This is about 1.5 teaspoons, but I never measure vanilla, only with my heart. And then here I have 2 eggs. It's also best to have them at room temperature, but the recipe does not say you have to. So one at a time. In that'll go. Back down to our low. And it doesn't say to do it this way. I've just learned over time that if you put in a spoonful at a time on your flour, you get less of a poofy mess. And it just seems to kind of incorporate better if you do this slowly. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, where I kind of scrape down the sides, pull up the bottom to make sure we don't have anything that isn't incorporating. Pull it all down off the paddle, and then a quick little mix. What I want to do is I'm going to divide this dough in half. A Ziploc bag. You can use saran wrap just the same. And what I want to do is we're going to put this in the freezer. Spread it out a bit This you don't have to, but I like to spread it out just so it'll chill faster. So into the freezer this goes. That dough will need to sit in the freezer for about 10 minutes. So if you haven't already, turn your oven on to 350 degrees to preheat. So the remainder of this, we're going to stick in the bottom of this pan. And using your fingers, you're just going to press it into the bottom. This is an 8x8 pan. It said to use, I believe, an 8x8x2. I want to try to get it as even as possible across the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if you have the little fingerprints, because that's just going to give it a divot for our jelly to sit in. Next, we need 1.5 cups of our grape jelly. If you have a jelly jar, this is a 2-cup measurement. So just take out a 1/2 cup. And then the rest, whatever kind of jelly or jam, I think you can replace this for any flavor that you want. And I'm just going to spread this evenly on top of the bottom layer, like that. And while we're waiting, we need to get an overflowing cup of peanuts. And we are going to coarsely chop them. So you can see I've got some smaller pieces and some bigger pieces. Perfect. Okay, our timer went off. Our dough is officially chilled now, and we can finalize these cookies. They said that you want to take grape-sized pieces. Okay, I'm just going to crumble, and however the cookie crumbles, that's how it's going to fall. And we want to put them all over the top. We're not going to press these in. We're just going to make a crumble topping. I like using big pieces and little pieces, just like when we chop the nuts. And then we'll take our nuts and we'll top this. Okay, and then just to kind of spread this out, and then I am going to tap this in a little bit just to help the nuts kind of stick in there a little bit better. So in the oven, this is going to go at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. And then before we even think about cutting into it, it needs to completely chill. There they are. What is it about peanut butter that just makes everything smell good? Peanut butter cookies, peanut butter desserts of any kind. Just, something about them that are just so good. It's going to be hard, but we're going to wait for this to cool. Oh, yay. They've had a chance to cool, and I am ready for a little taste test. I've got a crazy little cheese knife, and we're going to steal just a little corner and see what this tastes like. They're still just the tiniest bit warm. Ooh. Can you see that? Wow. It's got the line of the jelly and the peanut butter cookie. Let's give this a little taste. Very good. On the top, it's nice and crunchy. And then that bottom layer is soft and gooey. It's like the best of both worlds when you want a cookie. This is a corner piece, of course, but it ended up a little thicker than I thought. And so it's actually kind of soft. The top, you can see, the top had gotten plenty of brown around the edges. And so I almost think I wish I would have put it in a longer pan. I think I would have liked a little bit thinner of a bar, although I think that these will stay soft for a long time, which is good because a big old pan like this, we don't need to eat up in just a day or two. I think they'd freeze really well. Cannot wait for my daughter to get home from work to see what she thinks of this recipe. Guys, I really enjoyed having you here. I hope that this recipe encourages you to do something different with those jams and jellies. We never really know exactly what to do with them other than on toast and biscuits. And this is just a fun, unique, and different way to use them. I hope that you give this a try. Thanks again, Lisa, for hosting Make It March. I'm so excited to be here for the whole month long. Come back and see me every single Tuesday where we try something new. Bye for now, friends.